What's up, guys? I know I owe you a Q&A, but first I wanted to go over what's coming up, how training's going to look on a large scale, and then even break it down further into the smaller mesocycles that are coming up, and what's going on this summer, what I'm doing, what we're training for, and how it's working. We have Tokyo test event coming up July 6th and 7th. Then after that, very quick turnaround to the Pan Am Games, July 30th. So the way we're attacking this is we're essentially going to train through both these meets as we head to World Championships, which is, I think, September 30th. What I want to get at is, as we enter the transmutation cycle, both meets this summer are going to fall on that training cycle. Since it's such a short turnaround from now to Tokyo test event and Pan Am Games, we just have to train through them. Tokyo test event falls like the first week of the transmutation cycle, and then the Pan Am Games falls on the very last week of the transmutation cycle. By the last week of transmutation cycle, I'll be ready to do some heavier weights. But early in the transmutation cycle, I'm just not going to be in shape to do top numbers. So when we train through and go to Tokyo test event, it's just going to be kind of a chill meet. Just experience it, do some good totals, get in meet shape, and get what we can out of it. It's going to be a grind. It'll be a tough summer, but I'm excited to take on this challenge, to do all these meets, score these Roby points, and put up good totals, and it should be fun. Pan Am Games, I'll be in better shape. It'll be at the end of the transmutation cycle, so we're going to go a little heavier there. You should get to see some bigger numbers as long as I'm lifting well and feeling well, and I'm really excited for that one. It's basically like the Olympics for the Pan Ams. So like there's going to be other sports there. It's going to be a cool venue. It's in Lima in Peru, so it should be a really, really cool experience. I'm very excited about that one. So that's what's coming up. That's what we're training for. That's what training's looking like. So as soon as we get back from Pan Am Games, that's when I'll enter the next realization cycle, and we'll start preparing for World Championships. So it actually works out pretty good. I get left alone for my strength cycle. I've got a good bit of travel and lifting to do during the transmutation, which hopefully should be fine. And then I get a nice long, I think an 8-week block to finish up my training and get ready for Worlds. That's what's going on right now at Cal Strength. That's what I'm up to, focused on thinking about. So now that we've got that out of the way, let's answer these questions you guys sent me. On Instagram, I did one of the little Ask Me questions in the story. I just put one up there, collected some questions, most of them about Pan Ams, and I'm just going to answer those for you. I don't know if you saw it, but I posted it up with a little puppy, so I did get a number of questions about the dog, which is to be expected. That's probably my fault. First one, do I need a personal attendant? No. There are a lot of people that help me out. Did you get a chance to do any sightseeing? Unfortunately, no. We flew into Guatemala like 2 days out. Was actually on a bus to the airport at about 3 a.m. after I competed. Did I do a water cut? I did do a water cut, I guess. I'm still not quite big enough to where I have to do a real serious cut for the weight class. I took a steam room twice the day of competition. After breakfast the day of, I didn't eat anymore, and I didn't drink at breakfast, so I stopped drinking water after dinner the night before comp, and then I stopped eating after I had a light breakfast. 2 steam rooms, and then I was ready to go. How's the food in Guatemala? So we ate in the hotel in Guatemala. It's just like any hotel in America. It wasn't great, but neither is most hotel food's not great. We went out to eat. We crossed a few streets, walked just a little bit, and there was this cobblestone walking street that had a bunch of little restaurants, and it was actually really quiet and nice, and the food there was pretty good. We got me and Dave got Elvis burgers, so they weren't as good as American cheeseburgers, but they were pretty good. How different was the nutritional choices there, I think is what. The food choices, like I said, is like basically some bland meats, some bread, some vegetables. There was plenty of options. It wasn't weird food. We didn't have to like suffer through anything. It was just regular hotel stuff. Let's see, next page. What's my favorite snack between the snatch and clean and jerk? I actually don't eat between snatch and clean and jerk. When they said stop on the last clean and jerk because the weight wasn't correct, what went through your head? I couldn't tell you. Like, I was ready to go. They stopped it for a few seconds. I turned around. I wasn't really sure what was going on until I saw them load weights, but I was just so focused on the attempt. Like, it was weird. It didn't affect me in the slightest. Like, I was just as ready to go after they stopped me, after they reloaded the bar, as I was the first time I walked up there. Why do weightlifters wear the shirt under the singlet when doing clean and jerk, but not when doing snatch? My guess would be that in the snatch, the bar is actually never on your body, so the shirt doesn't really, you're not going to notice, like, as far as the bar feel on you, whether you have one or not. But in the clean and jerk, the bar's against your skin, it's next to your neck, so maybe putting on a shirt, they feel a little tighter. The bar feels a little better on the shirt than it does on their skin. I'm not sure, something along those lines. It says, do I have any pre-comp routines, meals, music, nap, etc.? I never wanted to have a routine. I didn't want to have like anything that I have to do or I don't feel like I'm ready for a competition. So I kind of just like hang out and go with the flow. The things that I do have planned, I'll have my food packed, ready to go for right after I weigh in the things I'm gonna drink. But I don't have any rituals or routines. So I wake up, I'll check weight. After I've checked my weight, I know like how much I need to eat or drink during the day, if at all. And then it's just hanging out, relaxing, just trying to rest and not think about the competition. What was my cut like, if any? I think I touched on that. I didn't really have to cut very hard. I ate dinner fine, just a regular dinner. I had drank with it. I woke up and I had a light breakfast, no water, no liquids, and then I just hung out the rest of the day. I took 2 steam rooms during the day, so it was a pretty easy cut. Do I get nervous anymore? I do get nervous. I think I know how to utilize that to perform better. But yeah, I think anyone that wants to be successful, anyone that wants to do well, is gonna feel a little bit of pressure just from themselves. Like I want to do certain numbers. I want to hit these weights, and I expect to, or I'm gonna be disappointed. And it's hard to not feel anything and just go lift weights, because they mean something. It's gold medals, it's qualifying for the Olympics, it's bonuses from American records and gold medals. There's a lot to it. So I don't think that anyone is just completely numb to competition, but I'm certainly not. I get excited, I get jittery, I get to where I'm moving a little bit, maybe too much, but it's just excitement. I'm ready to go. I want to compete and I want to do well. Yeah, speaking of expectations, this fellow asked, did you have certain expectations in terms of numbers? Yes, of course. We made a plan. We knew what numbers we wanted to target, and we put them in place for the program. So in the program, I was hitting my last warm-up. I'd go up to my opener, second attempt. We knew exactly what we wanted to do, and we practiced for it. But yeah, we had expectations. We had a plan. We went out and executed to the best of our ability, and I came away 1 kilo shy. So we always have a plan, and I always expect to execute the plan. What was the first thing in your mind after smashing that 223? I don't know what the first thing in my mind was, but it was definitely it was pretty emotional. I knew that gave me a great total. I knew that was a pretty big American record. I know that made a pretty big American record total, and I was very excited. I wouldn't say surprised, but I was just happy it went. It feels so good to go 3 for 3 in the lifts, and I mean that one was no exception. And there's just there was a lot. I wouldn't say there wasn't a lot riding on it, but it just accomplished a lot. There was a very meaningful lift, and it felt great to take that one. I mean, that was certainly my most emotional lift I've ever made. It's my most emotional record I've hit, and it felt so good, and I'm really excited to do more. And hopefully I can find a lift that eclipses that one, and as far as like emotions and accomplishments. So I'm gonna keep moving up. It felt great. I don't know what I thought, but I was so excited to win the Pan Am Championships like that. It was just an excellent way to go out. How did it feel clean and jerking 223? It felt like the lightest clean 220 and above I've probably ever done. I didn't love my dip on the jerk. It wasn't perfect. There's some things I want to keep working on as far as that's concerned, but I feel like, it's another stepping stone. I think that I can keep moving from 223. It's just like it's an oddball number. I should be able to add a kilo or two. Pretty not quick, but over the next few cycles I feel like I can easily improve on that. What did you eat that made you sick? I don't know. You can't drink water when you're there, so that includes water in the shower, in the sink. They prepare food with water. They wash the vegetables with water. I mean, there's no way to know, even if it was food or if it was, if it was just a little bit of water out of the shower, or, I mean, who knows? It's Guatemala. You got to be careful. It's just, I feel like it's hard to go out of the country and not get a little upset stomach when you get back. I didn't get bad sick. I was just a little upset tummy when I got home, so no big deal. How did you eat when the food didn't make it? I struggle with having a good plan for that. So I prepped a bunch of food the night before I flew into Guatemala. I figured it was just 2 days of eating, so I could prep it all out and then be good to go. The food never made it. I still don't know what happened, but I did not get the meal prep I cooked. So since it didn't come in, I just ate the hotel food. I mean, it was fine. There was nothing like wrong with it. It wasn't gonna be as good as what I cooked, but you gotta do what you gotta do. You can't dwell on the stuff that goes wrong. You just gotta move forward, and they have food for us to eat, so it wasn't a big deal. Just went right into the cafeteria and took care of business. Anything I would have done differently? I don't know. I haven't even thought about it, how I do things differently. I always train as hard as I can. I did as much work as I've ever done leading this competition. I came up with a great total. I mean, what would I do different? I don't know. I probably wouldn't. I like the outcome. I liked how I had a great time. It's fine. Everything's great. How did you set percentages before Pan Ams? So this is an interesting question. We usually go off our maxes for everything on our programs, but on our realization cycle and on the taper, it's more like specific numbers. So on a max out Friday, maybe we want to work up to the first attempt snatch, the last warm up and clean and jerk. And all my warm ups from empty bar to the top snatch, and all my warm ups from empty bar to top clean and jerk, and we just target different numbers in that progression. So I hope that makes sense. We just base it off the progression we're using for the meet and the competition lifts on the platform. How do I get stronger in a short amount of time before a big meet? That's not how getting stronger works. There's no such thing as getting strong in a short amount of time. As the meet gets closer, I would suggest you focus on your technique and you focus on the numbers that you want to hit. All you can do is move to the best of your ability. There's easy technical adjustments you can always make. That's no problem, but I mean, you can't make your legs stronger in a short amount of time, or your arms or your core. You just have to do the best technique you possibly can and have a good plan and execute it. There's no magic. You can do a taper. The Cal Strength has a taper that's pretty good. Tapers make you feel stronger, but you don't actually get stronger. You probably get a little weaker tapering. But anyways, another first thing you thought about hitting after hitting the 223 split jerk. I don't know. It was a blur. I was very excited. That's all I know. What were your heaviest lifts leading up to the competition? Snatch, clean, and jerk. Leading up to this meet, I had snatched 177. So the heaviest day that we did, I hit all my snatches without any misses up to 177. So perfectly executed our plan there. And then I clean and jerked 217 and cleaned 223 twice and had just missed jerks. So it was technical errors, and it's hard to hit those numbers when you're on the load of training. But being able to take 2 cleans and having close attempts at the jerk, I was feeling pretty confident. And then I did jerk 223 off the blocks. I think it was the first week of the taper on a Wednesday. So I had done all the movements and all the numbers that I wanted to do at the meet before we had even gotten a week out of competition. What do you eat between weigh-in and first lift? So after weigh-ins, I immediately start rehydrating. It'll be like sports drink, such a side of sport. Dave has this stuff called Drip Drop 2 that's like an electrolyte balance drink that he gives us. Some people drink Pedialyte. Just whatever you want to make sure you're getting some electrolytes in as you drink your water. You don't just want to chug a bunch of water. So after I get hydrated, I'm not really thirsty anymore. I'll start eating fruit and like Cliff bars. I don't really eat protein bars. I eat more like meal bars, something with some carbohydrates, some fat in it, just something that's high energy. And then maybe some peanut butter, some Nutella. This is very high energy food. Why were they yelling at you to stop on your third attempt? Was it the wrong weight? Yeah, so I think 221 was still on the bar, and we had called for 223. Thoughts on Bulgarian training? Bulgarian training can be good, but it's hard. And if your technique isn't exceptional, you're probably going to hurt yourself. It's a very hard training. It should be utilized by very, very experienced weightlifters that are preparing for very serious meets. And it's not been that successful outside of Bulgaria anyways. I know that Dave and his buddies tried to utilize that system when he started weightlifting, and they even had the Bulgarian national team coach, and it just didn't really work that good. If you want to do it just for fun with the boys, whatever, but I definitely wouldn't do it if you're really trying to get better at weightlifting. Maybe if you just wanted to do it for fun or something, but you got to be careful. Can you show us the program for strengthening your neck? Those medals got to be heavy. I think that might be a joke. I didn't know where that was going, but I think that was a joke question. I don't really exercise my neck. The day of, how do you warm up? Any rituals? Like I said earlier, no rituals. For my warm up, I'll do like a light dynamic warm up. I do some stretching, and then I just start moving the bar. Are the taper blues real? How do you keep confidence high through that? Yeah, you can feel weird on the taper. It's sort of like you're used to doing one thing, you take it away, the body just, there's hormonal things that go on as well. But yeah, you might have some misses or a rough day on the taper, but you just have to know, you have to know inside that if you've hit these numbers before or close to them, or you've trained hard, that stuff's all in you. You don't have to hit it on any one day to hit it at your meet. You know, you should be prepared. I'm not saying you should go try a lift at the meet that you've missed a whole bunch lately, but if you have a bad day on the taper or whatever, like, don't think about it after that day's over. Make sure you address the technical mistakes. Make sure that you're staying on your program, but you know, it's nothing to worry about. What weight do you train at, and how quickly do you try to get to your training weight after comp? Like, it starts high and then it goes lower as the meet gets closer. So like on our strength cycles, maybe I'm at like 113 tops, 113 kilos, and then as we go through that, I'll start losing weight when we start the next cycle. So maybe I'll go into the next cycle 112, 112 and a half, and then I'll work my way down during the transmutation cycle. And as the meet gets closer, I try to hold like that 110 to 111 range all the way until the comp, and that's an easy water cut. So as long as I'm down to like 111 midway through the transmutation cycle, it's going to be an easy competition cut. I'll have no problem getting there. After comp, I get back to weight pretty quick. I'll just, you know, we get a week or two off for like light, so during that week or two I'm eating a lot, usually foods I like, because I'll go on a more strict diet while I'm training. So I tend to put the weight on quick, and if it's not up by the time I start training, I really will eat hard that first week to try to get back to a good training weight. There's no sense in training light. I don't want to leave any kilos, you know, off the bar because I didn't do my nutrition right. So after the meet, I try to get right back to weight, and that way when I start training, I'm ready to go. What kind of squat volume were you training, say 1 to 2 weeks out? 1 to 2 weeks out, that's when we start tapering. We do a 2-week taper, so the squat volume was like nothing. There was no volume. It would be like front squat up to your third attempt clean and jerk, back squat. Like, I mean, it was nothing. Like, there's no real squat volume. We just load the legs up enough to know what those heavy weights feel like, and to have the body prepared to be under a heavy weight. It's not. We don't do like squat workouts, really. We just have a number we hit, and then we're pretty much done. I said, what were your macros? I mean, I usually eat like 300, 320 grams of protein a day, and then probably around 3,000 to 3,200 calories. So I let my carbs and fat kind of like fluctuate. Like, some days I'll eat more fat, like if I have like more steak meals versus if I have like more chicken prepared for the day. So the energy, the calories, they tend to vary, but yeah, I try to hit around 3,000 to 3,200 calories. Mentally, how do you get through training sessions and the amount of volume you do? That's easy. I know I have to do it. I have a program. The program's essentially a goal, and I know if I can complete my program that I got better. So I try to do everything on the program and add as much as I can. Try not to miss anything, and just attack it. I mean, that's all it is. It's a goal. You know, you get a project. It's your program, and you just go to work on your program. And try not to miss, try not to lose, try to get better, stay healthy. It's just how it is. You know, it's not something I have to like think about or try to do. It's just what it is. I get my program, I do it all. If I feel like crap, I talk about it, and I still have to do it. So it doesn't matter. Do your program. What do you feel helped increase your clean and jerk this cycle? Nothing specific we did this cycle helped me increase it, except for honestly the crazy amount of strength work we did in the accumulation cycle. So when we came back from Worlds, I started doing extra sessions. We did a ton of strength work, and my legs got stronger. I only did 1 more kilo on the clean and jerk than I did in Ashgabat, but in training I was taking multiple cracks at 223, whereas before Ashgabat, I wasn't in shape to do that. So I definitely got stronger legs. The squats helped. All the work I did helped. That was the main thing. Just all the work I did in the accumulation cycle set me up to be really strong in the clean and jerk. How long of a deload did you do before the competition? 2-week deload. If you want that taper, you can definitely buy it. It is for sale, and you can use it for any of your meets. This guy says, how do I get more speed under the bar for cleans? Also love your YouTube vids. Thank you. I've found that speed under the bar comes from a very good pull. So if you have good pull technique, the bar's where it's supposed to be, your body is finishing the way it's supposed to, then you can move faster under the bar. How do you feel with off training days where the movements just felt off? Yeah, that definitely happens, and when you're off, you just have to address the technical issues. So, some days maybe the snatch is off, so I'll stop what I'm doing and go down and wait and come back up and try to fix the technique. And then usually like if I've had a bad week or a bad Friday, I'll use the weekend to sort of address the technical mistakes. Are you nervous for a lift? Of course. Yeah, big weights are scary. New weights are scary. Missing on a competition platform is scary. So I get nervous just like everybody. I don't like to miss. I don't like to fail. Heavyweight's scary. I don't know. Of course, nerves are real. The height of Wes, please. I am 5 feet and 11 inches. How did you determine your competition attempts? Basically, we just looked at how training had been going. We, looked at what we needed to continue on our path to the Olympics, and we attacked those numbers. Dave decided that a 390 total would put us in good position for Olympic qualifications, and anything better than that would be just icing on the cake. So he put me on 390 for my second attempts, and then if I made any third attempts, that was just going to put me in better position. So that was the strategy behind it. That's how Dave picked the numbers. And 1 kilo more than I did in Ashgabat in the clean and jerk, and just a regular snatch day. How many days do you train per week, and what is the best thing to do for recovery? So on all my cycles, I train 6 days a week, but I'll train different numbers of times a day. So leading into this meet, I think I was doing 15 sessions a week during the accumulation cycle. So during our strength cycle, I was hitting multiple 3-a-days and 2 days where I only do 1 session. I did the same thing on the transmutation cycle, and then when we went to realization cycle, I went down to 12 sessions a week, and then on the taper we went down to 6 sessions per week. Is training a heavy deadlift beneficial for weightlifting? Also, do you ever bench? The deadlift doesn't transfer to weightlifting very well. The posterior chain is important in weightlifting, but having a big fat deadlift doesn't necessarily mean you're going to do a bigger clean and jerk or a bigger snatch. Do I ever bench? I don't really ever bench. We do a little bit of dumbbell bench during the accumulation cycle. I don't really push it very heavy. There's no need really anymore. What was going through your head before your third snatch attempt? Man, I honestly, before my third snatch attempt, I knew it was a little more weight. I didn't know the weight on the bar, and all I was thinking about is the technical corrections I wanted to make. So I wanted to basically just address my technique and lift technically well, and then I knew I would make the lift. It's not a weight that I have trouble with physically. It's just technically snatch is hard. So I went to the bar knowing I could make it if I did my lift right, and thankfully I executed well. What was your diet like the night before and the day of competition? The night before, me and Dave went and we had a cheeseburger on that walking street I told you about. And the day of competition, I just had a light breakfast. I ate hardly anything, like a little bit of bread, and I think I had like a very small omelet with some tomatoes in it. How do you do your water cut before competition? I mean, I'm well hydrated leading up into the day before. I won't drink water with dinner the day before, or I just won't drink any water the day of. So water is super easy. Just get thirsty, don't drink. And if you want to like dive into water cutting, there's like more technical ways to do it. I don't have to lose enough weight that it's like very hard for me. How do you feel the competition level changes from Pan Ams to the world level? It's certainly more competitive on the world stage. The Asian countries are good, the Middle Eastern countries are good, Europe has great weightlifters. I mean, you're basically taking a couple continents versus the whole world. So definitely there's more competition. It's a tougher meet, and there's better lifters out there. So you know, the level certainly increases. It's definitely harder. How many meals a day do you eat before Pan Ams? While I'm still eating, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and 2 snacks. So 5 meals, 3 full meals, and 2 light meals. That's the last one. Thanks for bearing with me. This is kind of a long one. I didn't expect it to be quite so long, but that's all right. And had a little throat thing, but I'm starting to feel better now, and I'm ready to train. Covered what's coming up, what I'm doing, what I'm training for, answered all your Pan Ams questions, and now we can quit talking about it. No more Pan Am stuff. We're moving on to the next one. Tokyo test event, July. Alright, the training's gonna be hard. Watch the videos. We're in the volume cycle, so you might see some lighter lifts in the snatch and the clean and jerk, and some really hard work in the squats. I hope you enjoy it. Hope you're learning. Hope you're liking it. And I will see you guys next time.